in its 40s, and wasn't all the original members, and we didn't look the same, and we kind of thought, sort of 3 strikes and you're out, really. So we, one of those things, we made a 5-album set of songs on the internet, which sounds mad, but it started to throw up some ideas of songs we might have overlooked, and one of them was a song called 45 RPM, and it sounded like something that we might have written when the band first started as the Toilets in 1977, and we kind of were sitting around in the pub after we'd been recording the song, and one of us said, if that was by a young band, it'd be a hit. And so one thing led to another, but we went to, we took it to a plugger in London called Dylan White, who was a very hip record placement person in the UK, and he did Oasis and U2 and Stone Roses and bands like Perry Benson here.
Yay.
Come on, Perry, come and say hello. This is Perry, stars in the film.
Yay.
Great actor. And so anyway, we went to see Dylan White. We said, look, we've got a new Alarm record, and he said, look, no one's going to be interested in that anymore. You know, you're not hanging out with Oasis and all the hip bands and all that, you know. So anyway, we got talking, and he said, I don't even want to hear your record. I don't want to disrespect you. So we talked, and then he said, what else are you doing with yourself these days? I said, well, I'm managing this young band from Wales. And he said, let's play that then. So I put the record on, and he turned to me and goes, I get that on the radio like that. And I said, that's the new Alarm record. So he thought, okay. So he played it to a few people with a subterfuge of pretending that it was a young band. And anyway, a lot of the British DJs that he played to felt so deeply for the record that he couldn't bring himself to say it was actually the Alarm in disguise. And so he phoned us up and said, look, guys, you've got to go with this all the way. So we changed the name of the record at the record plant the last minute to The Poppy Fields, which is the name of the album we had coming out. And we carried on working the record as a subterfuge. And we at the time, we thought, we're bound to get blown any minute now, because the B-side was a live version of 68 Guns, and shows you how thick they all were. But because they still didn't get it until it went in the top 30. We charted it in the top 30. We promoted it to all the Alarm fans, just the new record called 45 RPM. We never said the words The Alarm anywhere near it. But with the airplay and the faith of the fans and the strong following that we'd kept to the day, the record went into the top 30, and on top of the Pops, we announced that the Poppy Fields that were being championed as the best new band in Britain, the sound of the Clash meets Rancid, the kind of band that will go to the party, steal all the best-looking girls and come home with all the beer. That was actually the 40-year-old Alarm in disguise. And it ended up being a huge story around the world. We ended up on the CBS News with Dan Rather and the Late Late Show with Craig Kilborn, and we got to talk about the subterfuge in detail. And then there was an Alarm fan called Jim Cooper, who was a script writer, and he spotted the story unfold on thealarm.com and wrote the story. And then I was at the Craig Kilborn show with him and John H. Williams of the Vanguard Films, who produced the Shrek movies, and they said, we've got this great British film director to produce the film. You won't know her, and she's produced Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen and all this kind of, and her name's Sara Sugarman. And I went, well, I do know her, actually. And Sara and I used to live in the same hometown, and so it was a very big coincidence.
Yeah, it turned out that, bizarrely, like, you know, I remember Mike when he was in the Toilets, and I think Mike was like 15 or 16.
The band, not the real ones.
And I think you kind of managed our band, like the Fractures, I think, or that's my imagination.
Sorry, what Toilets were they?
We ripped them off, was what we really did.
And anyway, so I found, I was just called on this job, and it turned out that we knew each other, so obviously I was, I think they call it a shoehorn in. So we went off and made this film in Wales, and Perry Benson here came up, and I'd known Perry since we were young and didn't sit in Nancy together. Do you want to talk?
Oh, no, I've got one. Yeah, thank you. I've got a lollipop in my hand. Yeah, we did sit and Nancy together when we were both actors, and yeah, it was an interesting experience, a bit of improv, and she knew that we could do a little bit of that.
And you
Yeah.
played. I knew you could play an instrument and stuff. So.
Yeah.
And so Perry was first man in, and Perry helped us get the rest of the cast. And this is Hazel Bailey, who cut the film from Scotland. She's come all the way. So anyone, I mean, like, there's lots to talk about. And maybe if you want, we'll do a Q&A afterwards. But hope you enjoyed the film. And does anyone else want to say anything?
No, I think we should get on with it, eh?
Yeah.
Said enough. Hope you enjoy it. Free rock and roll!